The cold, sterile research station on Caloria hummed with quiet anticipation. Jae-woo stood near the observation window, his dark eyes scanning the alien landscape outside. Metallic structures stretched across a lavender-tinted horizon, where strange crystalline formations caught the light of two distant suns. He was different from other researchers. Where most saw data and specimens, Jae-woo saw potential. His colleagues often joked that he was more philosopher than scientist, always searching for deeper connections beyond clinical observations. That morning, everything changed. Hana was brought into the research wing on a specialized hover chair. Her body was small and fragile, muscles seemingly unable to support her own weight. But her eyes, those eyes burned with an intensity that caught Jae-woo's immediate attention. They were deep green with flecks of silver, reflecting an intelligence that seemed trapped behind a physical barrier. The alien medical team discussed her case with clinical detachment. Genetic disorder, neurological complications, unprecedented neural pathway disruption. Words that reduced Hana to a medical puzzle rather than a living being. Jae-woo watched silently. He noticed how Hana's fingers twitched involuntarily, how her head would occasionally jerk to one side. But beneath those uncontrolled movements, he saw something remarkable, a consciousness fighting to break free. When the medical team left, Jae-woo approached her. Standard communication protocols wouldn't work. Traditional translation devices failed to capture the nuanced communication her species used. So he did something unexpected. He sat down at her eye level and simply observed. Hana stared back. One of her hands moved slightly, a trembling motion that seemed more intentional than random. Jae-woo realized she was trying to communicate. Not with words, but with a complex series of micro-movements that suggested an advanced neural language. "Can you understand me?" he whispered, knowing she might not comprehend human speech. Her silver-green eyes widened. A subtle shift in her facial muscles suggested recognition, perhaps even excitement. The research station's chief administrator, a stern-looking woman named Dr. Park, interrupted. "Dr. Kim, she's not a subject for your philosophical experiments. Her condition is considered untreatable by our most advanced medical technologies." Jae-woo didn't turn around. His entire focus remained on Hana. Something fundamental was happening, a connection beyond scientific understanding. Hana's hover chair suddenly moved, not by mechanical control but through what seemed like her own concentrated effort. She inched closer to Jae-woo, her movement deliberate and challenging the medical predictions about her capabilities. "Impossible," muttered Dr. Park. But Jae-woo saw a possibility where others saw limitation. He understood that disability didn't mean inability. Every tiny movement Hana made was a statement, a declaration of her inner strength. The research station's artificial lighting cast strange shadows. Hana's alien skin, a pale blue with intricate silver network of neural markings, seemed to shimmer. Those markings weren't just aesthetic. Jae-woo suspected they were a complex communication system waiting to be understood. A soft beeping interrupted the moment. Medical monitors attached to Hana's chair showed unusual neural activity. Her brain was communicating in patterns that defied current scientific understanding. Jae-woo realized he was witnessing something extraordinary. Not just a medical anomaly, but potentially a breakthrough in understanding interspecies neural communication. Hana blinked, one single purposeful blink that seemed to say more than 1,000 words. In that moment, Jae-woo knew his life's work had just found its true purpose. The research station continued its routine. Machines hummed. Monitors displayed complex data. But something fundamental had changed. A connection had been made between a human researcher and an alien girl who everyone else had written off as hopeless. Jae-woo smiled. This was just the beginning of an incredible journey. As evening approached on Caloria, casting its lavender-silver light across the research station, Hana and Jae-woo remained, two beings from different worlds, united by an unspoken understanding that transcended physical limitations. The days following their first encounter became a dance of patience and discovery. Jae-woo worked tirelessly, developing a communication system that might bridge the gap between human understanding and Hana's unique neural language. His workspace was a controlled chaos of holographic displays and intricate neural mapping devices. Thin cables connected experimental interfaces, each attempt more complex than the last. Colleagues whispered that he was obsessed, but Jae-woo saw something they couldn't: a living, thinking being trapped behind a biological barrier. Hana's neural patterns were unlike anything in scientific records. Where human brains showed predictable electrical impulses, hers created intricate, almost musical wave patterns. Each movement, each slight twitch of her muscles seemed to carry meaningful information. One morning, during a breakthrough moment, Jae-woo noticed something extraordinary. When he played specific sound frequencies, Hana's neural markers would respond in synchronized patterns. It wasn't just a random reaction, it was communication. The research station's standard communication devices had failed repeatedly. They were too rigid, too linear for Hana's complex neural network. Jae-woo began constructing a custom interface combining quantum computing with neural adaptive technology. Dr. Park remained skeptical. "You're wasting institutional resources," she would argue. "Her condition is considered terminal by our best medical experts." But Jae-woo saw hope where others saw limitations. He understood that communication wasn't just about words. It was about understanding. Days turned into weeks. Hana's hover chair became less of a medical device and more of a collaborative research platform. Jae-woo learned to read her micro-expressions, the subtle shifts in her neural patterns that suggested emotions, thoughts, desires. During one breakthrough session, Hana managed to project a simple image through the neural interface. It was blurry, fragmented, but it was a deliberate communication. The image showed a landscape similar to her home planet, with twin suns and crystalline structures. "She's showing me her memories," Jae-woo whispered to himself. The research station's ethical committee became interested. What seemed like a hopeless medical case was transforming into a potential breakthrough in interspecies communication. Hana's neural patterns revealed a complex inner world. She wasn't just a patient, she was a sentient being with dreams, memories, and an incredible depth of intelligence. Her physical limitations had hidden an extraordinary mind. Jae-woo started documenting everything. Each interaction, each neural response became a piece of a larger puzzle. He developed specialized algorithms that could translate her neural language into comprehensible data. Sometimes, during quiet moments, Hana would look directly at Jae-woo. Those silver-green eyes seemed to hold entire universes of unspoken communication. She was teaching him a language beyond words, beyond traditional understanding. The breakthrough came unexpectedly. During a routine neural mapping session, Hana managed to project a complete thought. It wasn't just an image or a fragmented communication. It was a clear, complex idea about her life, her struggles, her hopes. "I want to be understood," the neural projection suggested. Not in words, but in a comprehensive emotional and cognitive transmission that broke through all communication barriers. Jae-woo felt tears forming. This wasn't just scientific research anymore. This was a profound connection between two intelligent beings from different worlds. The research station buzzed with excitement. Preliminary reports suggested they were on the verge of a communication revolution. Experts from multiple planetary systems began requesting data, wanting to understand this unprecedented neural interface. But for Jae-woo, it was personal. Each breakthrough wasn't just a scientific achievement, it was a step towards understanding Hana as a complete, intelligent being. As Caloria's twin suns set, casting long shadows across the research station, Hana and Jae-woo continued their silent, profound conversation. Two beings from different worlds, connected by something far more powerful than language, a genuine, deep understanding. The research laboratory buzzed with nervous energy. Jae-woo's latest neural prosthetic interface prototype sat on the central workstation, a delicate network of quantum adaptive connections and biocompatible materials. Hana watched from her specialized chair, her silver-green eyes focused with intense concentration. Weeks of collaborative research had led to this moment. a potential breakthrough that could change everything about her existence. Dr. Park stood at the back of the room, her arms crossed, a mixture of skepticism and reluctant curiosity etched across her face. Other researchers had gathered, their digital tablets ready to record every single moment of the potential breakthrough. "We're ready," Jae-woo announced, his voice calm but vibrating with underlying excitement. The neural interface looked deceptively simple, thin, almost invisible neural connectors designed to integrate with Hana's unique biological structure. Traditional medical technology had failed her for years, but this was different. This was a collaboration between human innovation and her extraordinary neural network. Hana's body had always been a prison, muscles that wouldn't respond, a nervous system that seemed to fight against her own will. But today felt different. She could sense something changing in the room's atmosphere. Jae-woo approached her slowly, carefully attaching the neural interface. Each connection point was a result of months of careful research, understanding the intricate pathways of her alien neurobiology. The first signs of success were subtle. A tiny muscle in Hana's left hand twitched, then another. Small movements that would seem insignificant to an untrained eye, but to the researchers, they were monumental. Neural integration. "At 42%, a computer voice announced. "Adaptive response increasing." Dr. Park leaned forward, her professional skepticism momentarily replaced by genuine wonder. Hana's breathing changed. Her chest rose and fell, with a rhythm that seemed more controlled, more intentional. The neural interface was doing something extraordinary. It was giving her a level of physical control she had never experienced before. Another twitch, this time in her leg. Then her arm moved, not the random, uncontrolled jerking of before, but a deliberate, focused motion. "Incredible," Jae-woo whispered. The researchers began capturing every moment. Holographic displays filled with complex data, neural pathway maps showing unprecedented levels of integration between the human-designed technology and Hana's biological system. Hana's first intentional movement brought tears to Jae-woo's eyes. She reached out and touched a nearby diagnostic screen, not accidentally, not through random muscle spasms, but with purpose. The room fell silent. "Neural integration at 78%, the computer announced. "Adaptive response optimal." Dr. Park's professional demeanor cracked. A smile, small, almost imperceptible, crossed her face. Hours passed. Each moment brought new discoveries. Hana was learning. To control the neural interface, her brain creating new pathways, adapting to this revolutionary technology. By evening, she could move her arm with surprising precision. She could adjust her sitting position. Small movements that represented years of scientific breakthrough. The research station's communication channels lit up. Requests for data, demands for explanations. Scientific communities across multiple planetary systems wanted to understand this incredible development. But for Jae-woo and Hana, it was more than a scientific achievement. It was a moment of human connection, of understanding that transcended biological limitations. "Thank you," Hana managed to communicate through the neural interface. Not with words, but with a complex emotional transmission that conveyed gratitude, hope, and an entirely new understanding of possibility. As Caloria's twin suns set, casting long shadows across the research station, a new chapter had begun. A disabled alien girl and a human researcher had just rewritten the rules of medical science. Political tensions erupted across Caloria like a sudden storm. The conservative alien leadership viewed Jae-woo's breakthrough as a dangerous foreign intervention. They saw his neural interface not as a medical miracle, but as a threat to their cultural identity. Hana became the center of a complex political battle. Her body, once considered a medical failure, was now a symbol of potential conflict between human innovation and alien traditional beliefs. Government representatives began arriving at the research station. Their discussions were tense, filled with diplomatic language that barely concealed their underlying hostility. They argued that human technology was contaminating their pure medical traditions. Jay-Woo stood firm. Each meeting became a battle of words, scientific evidence against cultural resistance. He presented data, neural scans, progress reports, showing how the interface was giving Hana unprecedented mobility and communication abilities. Hana's own response was most powerful. During one critical meeting, she moved her wheelchair independently, something impossible before Jay-Woo's intervention. Her deliberate movement spoke louder than any argument. "This is not about technology," Jay-Woo explained. "This is about understanding, about giving someone a chance to live fully." The Alien Political Council was divided. Some saw potential, others saw threat. Heated debates continued for weeks, with Hana's future hanging in delicate balance. Media. Coverage exploded. Her story spread across multiple planetary communication networks. She became a symbol of hope for disabled individuals across different species and worlds. Dr. Park, once skeptical, now became Jay-Woo's strongest supporter. Her scientific reputation added weight to their arguments. She presented research showing how cross-species medical innovation could revolutionize healthcare. Hana's neural abilities continued developing. She could now communicate complex thoughts, share memories, and express emotions with increasing clarity. The neural interface was more than a medical device. It was a bridge between two different biological systems. Personal challenges emerged, too. Jay-Woo and Hana's relationship transformed. What started as a medical research project became a deep, profound connection. They understood each other beyond traditional communication barriers. Alien conservative groups organized protests. They claimed human technology was destroying their cultural medical principles. Demonstrations occurred outside research facilities, with protesters carrying signs denouncing foreign interference. But Hana was changing everything. Her progress challenged existing medical understanding. Each day brought new capabilities, new discoveries about her potential. The research station became a fortress of innovation. Security increased. Protective measures were implemented to ensure Hana's safety and continued research. Jay-Woo worked tirelessly. Nights blended into days. Complex neural algorithms, continuous interface improvements, constant monitoring. His commitment was absolute. Hana's family, initially resistant, slowly began understanding the transformation. Visits revealed a daughter no longer confined by her previous limitations. She could communicate, move, express herself in ways never thought possible. International scientific communities watched closely. Research requests poured in. Universities, medical institutions, interplanetary health organizations wanted to understand this breakthrough. The neural interface became more than a medical device. It represented hope, a promise that biological limitations could be overcome through understanding, compassion, and innovative thinking. Romantic feelings developed between Jay-Woo and Hana, complicated by their different biological origins. Their connection transcended traditional understanding of relationships, becoming something beautifully unique. Political resistance continued, but momentum was shifting. More people saw the potential of cross-species medical innovation. Hana became a living example of what was possible when compassion met scientific innovation. As months passed, the initial resistance began crumbling. Scientific evidence, Hana's remarkable progress, and Jay-Woo's persistent research started changing perspectives. The challenge was not just medical or political. It was about reimagining possibilities, about understanding that disability was not a limitation, but a different way of experiencing existence. Hana's journey was just beginning. Each day brought new discoveries, new challenges, new hopes. The research station remained a beacon of hope, a place where impossible was just another word waiting to be redefined. As Caloria's twin suns set, casting long shadows across the landscape, Jay-Woo and Hana continued their remarkable journey. Two beings from different worlds, united by something far more powerful than biology or politics. 5 years had passed since that first breakthrough. Hana stood on the stage of the Interplanetary Medical Conference, her movements smooth and controlled. The neural interface that once seemed like a miracle was now a testament to human-alien medical collaboration. Thousands watched, researchers, politicians, medical experts from hundreds of different planetary systems. Where once she could barely move, Hana now walked confidently, her silver-green eyes reflecting years of struggle and triumph. Jae-woo sat in the front row, watching with quiet pride. Their journey had transformed from a medical research project into something far more profound, a revolution in understanding disability, potential, and interspecies cooperation. "We are not defined by our limitations," Hana spoke, her voice clear and strong through advanced communication technology. "We are defined by our ability to overcome them." The conference hall erupted in applause. Her story had become legendary. The disabled alien girl who challenged everything her society believed about medical possibilities. Their research center, established on the borders of human and alien territories, had become a beacon of hope. Researchers from multiple species worked together, developing technologies that could help those with complex neurological conditions. Political barriers that once seemed insurmountable had crumbled. The conservative alien leadership that initially resisted their work now invited Jae-woo and Hana to develop medical protocols for their entire planetary system. Hana's family, once distant and skeptical, now stood as her strongest supporters. Her mother, tears in her eyes, watched her daughter transform medical understanding for entire civilizations. The neural interface had evolved. What started as the experimental technology was now being adapted for multiple species. Disabled individuals across different planets found new hope through their research. Jae-woo and Hana's relationship had also transformed. They were partners in research, in life, in their mission to change medical understanding. Their connection transcended biological differences, becoming a powerful symbol of possibility. International medical journals celebrated their breakthrough. Scientific communities that once dismissed their work now studied their research as a fundamental turning point in interspecies medical collaboration. "We didn't just create a medical solution," Jae-woo would often say. "We created a bridge of understanding." Their research center became more than a medical facility. It was a place of hope, of transformation, of breaking down barriers that seemed impossible to cross. Governments that once opposed their work now funded similar research. Disabled individuals from multiple species found new opportunities, new ways of experiencing life. Hana's neural interface became a standard medical technology. What once seemed like science fiction was now a reality, a way to help those whose bodies fought against their own potential. During her conference speech, Hana shared her personal journey. From a girl trapped in an unresponsive body to a leading researcher who was changing medical understanding across multiple planetary systems. "Technology is not just about solving problems," she explained. "It's about understanding the potential within every living being." The research center expanded. What started in a small research station on Caloria was now a multi-planetary initiative. Researchers from different species worked together, inspired by Hana and Jae-woo's original breakthrough. Political leaders who once argued against their work now sought their guidance. The neural interface had become more than a medical technology. It was a symbol of hope, of possibility. Jae-woo watched Hana on stage, remembering their first encounter. A disabled alien girl and a human researcher who refused to accept limitations. Their journey had changed everything. As the conference concluded, hundreds of researchers approached them. Young scientists from multiple species shared how their work had inspired new possibilities, new ways of thinking about medical innovation. The transformation was complete. What once seemed impossible was now a reality. Hana walked off stage, her movements smooth and purposeful. Jae-woo met her, their hands touching, a simple gesture that represented years of struggle, hope, and incredible achievement. The sun set on another day of possibility, and their journey continued. Hope, they had discovered, knew no biological boundaries.